What's going on, everybody? Non here, and getting back to kind of the weekly cadence, and I haven't done this in a little bit. Pokemon Center ETB performance. I haven't looked at this in a little bit, and quite honestly, some of the movements here are shocking. But before we get into this, I'm scratching my head a little bit because I watched a couple of videos today where some of the fairly prevalent PokeTubers just continue to make comments about you know don't believe that Obsidian Flames or Paldea Evolved are being reprinted. And I'm scratching my head because I don't know if they were recorded a while ago and just published today, or if these guys are really just that many degrees removed from what's actually happening in the industry that they quite honestly just don't know, which is weird because, I think I mentioned Monday, this past Monday, I actually read the email from Pokemon about the open orders because I was with one of my reps. Didn't post a video till Tuesday. Kind of waited for the information to percolate, and it's now 5 days later, 6 days later, which is it's a little weird to me. I quite honestly thought information traveled a little bit quicker than that, but it is what it is. So look, not trying to throw shade. It's just it's a little very interesting. So anyway, getting back to this. So SV base, the Koraidon is up to 165 from 145. There's 18 available in the market. These have been relatively dried up. Same with the Miraidon. A little bit more luck on TCG Player than eBay here. $194 for the Miraidon, 25 available. Relatively consistent. Moving to Paldea Evolved. Looks like there was a bunch of buyouts on these that I really wasn't aware of because, I have a very large position in all of these that I've accumulated over the last, 4 or 5 months. $342 and 18 of these available. It just completely got dried up in the market, moved up. This could be a factor of the booster boxes pushing 250, at least for another couple days. And also, the Pikachu's still at 110 for the promo, so not insane overwhelmingly, but still way overpriced compared to buying the promo and buying regular ETB is. And by the way, I did see today, somebody pointed this out in the Discord, that GT Collectibles on Walmart, they actually had this up briefly. It wasn't available for sale, but it was posting as coming soon or something like that. So they've been selling Surging Sparks booster boxes for about $199.99, I believe it was, or $199.96, something like that. And there was a special for them to sell them at $161.63 or thereabouts, which I believe is MSRP. So that leads me to believe that the reprint coming, it is meaningful, as I've mentioned to everybody. And I also tend to believe that the direction is going to be price the boxes low to get some affordability back into the market, at least in the near term. Now, that doesn't mean that distro doesn't sell the boxes at 110, 120. Totally made that number up, by the way. I've been trying to find out what the pricing is on purchase orders. I don't know yet. So, that doesn't mean that the pricing is low and then the LGSs, whomever gets the product, doesn't just sit on them or mark them up quite a bit. But I thought that was an interesting data point, because GT Collectibles has been a leading indicator on everything. They had Paldea Fates 3 weeks ago for sale. And, I think, as I mentioned, they tend to be about 5 weeks quicker than distribution to the LGS. And that continues to be true. They had 151 bundles about 4 or 5 weeks before everybody else. Same with Twilight Masquerade. So it's been fairly consistent. So I just kind of pay attention to those guys as a leading indicator, and I thought that was interesting because I know there was a lot of comments on my video yesterday about, well, if distributors come out with a lot of booster boxes, but they sell them, at 25% below current market, what does that look like? It doesn't move the price, but if it's a meaningful amount of pallets, they're going to push the price down to move them relatively quickly. So in my situation, it ends up being a really, really good deal. Now, what people do with that after the fact, all bets are off. So anyway, just wanted to mention that before I forgot. So Paldea Evolved, 342. Not going to sit there for a while. 18 bucks or 18 available. Obsidian Flame, same deal. 306 here. There's 4 available in the market, so a little bit of buyout there. 151 at 435. This thing just continues to go batshit crazy. 36 available. And then it gets interesting. Roaring Moon for Paradox Rift. So I was buying Roaring Moon at Iron Valiant at 75, 80 bucks for months. Nobody wanted them. Nobody liked Paradox. Now the Paradox is 185, whatever the number is. This is at 150. There's 21 available. The Iron Valiant with the lesser promo. 115, 29 of these available. Move it to Fates, still right around 200 bucks. 37 available. That number's actually come down a little bit. Consistent over the periods here, but come down a little bit. Temporal Walking Way, complete and total buyout. 300 bucks per. A month ago, this was 120, 100 forever. 4 of these available. The same with Iron Leaves. 125, there's 7 available. I may actually pick the one up at 125 because I think the next one's 175 here. But again, people just hammering the products that nobody wanted. And yeah, everybody knew it was coming. So everybody had time to do it. Twilight, up at 110. 110 of these available. But remember, 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, there's 20,000 that got 20,000 plus that got blown out on Pokemon Center. Take the opportunity to buy it if you want it. Now is the time. The promo's not great, sitting at 30, 35 bucks. But the regular ETBs are right at 70 because we haven't seen reprints of these. And, from a collector's perspective, there's going to be value there. Shrouded, they're sitting at 90 bucks. Again, recently sold out. Came down a little bit. There's 116 available in the market. Quite honestly, less than what I would have thought. I know when Twilight sold out, that number was like 180. And it was 180 for, in fact, right here's 188 on the chart. So it's a little bit lighter than what I would have thought. Now there's a ton of these on eBay as well. Stellar Crown, 137 all-time high. And I know the Noctowl's been targeted for buyout. 25 of these available. Surging Sparks. I mean, I've been screaming this from the rooftops since this came out at $100. The volume's going to dry up. The price is going to skyrocket. Now you have 107, 124. Now you're down at 75. You go back a month, there was 180 to 200 of these. I think there's a point where there's 250 of these listed on the market, around 100. The products, when they're in high supply, is the time to buy them. It is what it is. And then Prismatic, 344. These continue to go crazy. We haven't seen the second drop on this yet. So, there may be a little bit of a blip. Not going to be much one. I keep waiting because I missed it, but it's down to 122 or 100. I'm sorry, 112. So it's certainly interesting. So moving to promos, we'll blow through these relatively quickly. 66 on the Koraidon, 74 on the Miraidon, right around all-time highs. 27, 37 available, respectively. Way more action in sealed product this week than promos, whereas a couple weeks ago it was vice versa. 110 on the Paldea Pikachu, 29 available. 171 on the Obsidian Charmander, 30 available. So people are listing them now. The Snorlax had a big buyout a couple weeks ago, back down to 195, or I'm sorry, 192. 43 available. Screamtail buyout, 10 of these available. The same with the Iron Bundle, 41 bucks, 16 available. Mimikyu down a little bit to 51, 77 available. I like this card. I think it's undervalued. I think the entire Paldean Fates entourage, if you will, or suite of sealed product is undervalued right now. And I know bundles are coming out, but bundles are kind of the generic, the tight value product, not the stick on a shelf. It look awesome. Fluttermane, 41 bucks, which is interesting because you have the buyout on the sealed product, but it hasn't had a big impact in the price of the promo. 18 bucks here. Iron Thorns, 44, 12 of these left. So not $18, 18 left, 12 left. Steel Mask Ogrepon, 35 bucks. 62 of these available. Petrant, whatever you want to call it, 24 bucks. There's 112 available. Again, the supply of this is never going to be higher. It's going to be a good card. Every one of these promos is going to be north of 100 bucks by year end. So Yeah, it's a 4X. If you want to buy it, if you don't want it, that's cool too. There's plenty of good buys right now. Not Stellar Crown, knocked out. 141.25 of these available. Again, these continue to dry up. Actually bought 2 PSA 10s the other day. I thought it was a decent price. It's always good to have a couple of them if you can afford them. Surging Sparks Magneton again, $52. 99 of these available. This number keeps creeping up. I think people are just ripping them to sell the promo. Because quite honestly, when these were $150 and the regular ETBs were at 85, you rip the promo. If it's a 10, you're getting 150 to 200 for it. If it's not, you sell it. You can sell the packs at $8 each. So you're 88 plus 40. I mean, you're 125. There's some arbitrage there if you hit 10, the PSA 10. But now that these are north of 180, that's not going to happen. So these are going to dry up eventually too. And then you have the Eevee. Eevee's down a little bit. 40 of these available. Yeah, if everybody and their brother's grading these, and they're all going through eBay, PSA 9s, most of them. Some 8s too. I'm pretty sure this has been a little bit of a difficult one to grade, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So moving on to this, and I did this the last time I did this this video. This is on just relative value. So the Pokemon Center ETB versus buying the promo outright and buying the regular ETB. How much premium is there on the PC ETB versus an undervaluation? And some of this gets really screwed up, as we see with Paldea Evolved and Temporal and the Walking Wake with valuation. But it just gives you an idea of where the value is on this. And here I have, print run, PSA total pop. I did not update the PSA 10 total pop, but this is just based on the actual card. So the SB base Koraidon, there's 96 of them in PSA 10. One sold for like $1,500 the other day on eBay, which is like I don't even know. Let's see, 20, 30x multiplier based on 50 raw or 60 raw, whatever the number is, which is insane. What's even crazier is the Fluttermane 51. A lot of these are because they weren't graded. But some of these are because there's just not that many out there, which is interesting. So the SV base, the PCETB, super overvalued. Again, it's a collector's item. It's super rare. I think a lot of the early ones were ripped just because people didn't have any concept of what the value is going to look like, which is always cool. It's always like early on when people are playing with the cards or destroying the cards. And after the fact, it's like, shit, I probably shouldn't have done that. It's kind of cool here. Paldea Evolved. Yeah, I wouldn't even mess with it at 342. Doesn't make any sense. Buy the regular ETB. Buy the regular Pikachu promo, the non-stamped. It's great value right now. Obsidian. This is interesting because it's only slightly overvalued at $306, which is it's a little crazy. I probably wouldn't touch that either. Especially with the reprinted booster boxes coming out. I think booster boxes are the way to go. 151 still at $435 and the promo going down. It's still undervalued by $7, $7.50, which is crazy. I mean, you're much better off just buying the PC ETB than the regular and the promo. You just are. It's nuts. Roaring Moon, again, the 2 Paradox. You're better off. You're still better off buying the ETB. And again, some of this is the fact that the Screamtail just had a run up. So 2 weeks ago when I did this, 2.5 weeks, was not the case. So keep an eye on this one. Paldean Fates. The PCTB is a little overvalued. I think that's because the Mimikyu is undervalued. And quite honestly, the regular ETBs at 108 should probably be pushing 140, 150. Just based on Bubble Beam, some of the cards in there. Charizard. Walking Wake. Pay no mind to this one. It's going to be overvalued because it's always going to be over 110, 120 at this point. And the regular ETBs with Temporal haven't caught up to the fact that the product is pretty tight. And quite honestly, I think part of the reason for that is it's not a big demand in the rip and ship world. Temporal's not. Twilight is, and quite honestly, Stellar is. I mean, the few streamers I know, Stellar Crown is either their number 3 or number 4 best-selling set right now, and that's after 151, Surging Sparks, and Crown Zenith. Crown Zenith number 1, Surging 151 number 2, and sometimes Surging in 151 falls to number 4 behind Stellar Crown, depending on the week, which is absolutely crazy. Let me take that back, because right now Prismatic's number 1, so just shift everything down a spot. But still, the fact that Stellar Crown is the second most popular base set is pretty nuts. So moving on, Twilight, again, undervalued still. It is. The promo's undervalued. The regular ETB, 67. Probably should be a little bit higher. Beautiful ETB also. Little undervalued. Shrouded, slightly overvalued. That's because the regular ETBs haven't moved yet. The promos haven't moved. I would honestly probably start buying some of the promos, because if you look at the constant here, you're averaging 75. Your median here is probably in the 45 range. You have 2x upside on this card all day long. It's just a matter of the product drying up. I mean, shit, the Prismatic Evolutions, the SIR is selling for like 50, 60 bucks. And this is a much more rare card, theoretically. May not be in reality, but, Stellar. PCTB is still a little bit overvalued here. Same with Surging. Well, that's not right. Still same with Surging. Fat figure, the regular ETB price. And then Prismatic, the PC ETB versus the regular plus promo. I mean, look, I think there's quite a hefty premium to sealed cases. I managed to get 4 of them early on between 700 900 bucks, which is awesome. But honestly, I'd buy the regular ETBs. I buy them all day long because you can get them in volume. You can get them at a constant price point. And quite honestly, they're going to be 200 bucks in the next month and a half, 2 months, because they're not reprinting them anytime soon. So, you see this 205 here for Scarlet and Violet. This is going to do exactly what Scarlet, or what 151 did. And it's just going to do it in a tenth of the time. And it's just the market that we're at. So anyway, guys, hope this was helpful. Like the video, subscribe. Thank you all for the support, especially in the TCG player sale this past Thursday. Join the Discord. We have more sales coming. Once we get some of these booster boxes in, we'll see what the price point is. We'll see what the market is. And we may offer some out at a discount to the market on the private site through the Discord. So I guess enjoy your Saturday night.